8:39, welcome back. Now, royal news. The King is about to hold a royal summit to decide the future of the monarchy and to carve out clear roles for the working members of the family. Apparently, that's according to the best sources. Yeah. This sort of royal summit.
Yes. The King will be meeting with Prince and Princess of Wales at Balmoral tomorrow, hoping to use the couple's fame in building a unified Commonwealth.
Yeah, maybe that's why neither of them are going to the big match in Sydney. Because they already had this in the diary? I don't know. They could have chatted about it on the plane, couldn't they?
Yeah.
Joining us now is Michael Cole, former royal correspondent and writer of these things, an absolute royal expert. Lovely to see you again, Michael. First, that's the question I should be asking you, because I'll bet you know. Why do you think the King and Prince William haven't gone to Sydney?
Good morning, and good morning, Martin. Well, I'll tell you one thing, and it's a spectacular own goal that they are not going there. Prince William is the president of the FA. Yep. His wife, Catherine, is always going on and supporting women's sports and indeed playing them at every given opportunity. They should have jumped on the last scheduled flight out there. They should be in Stadium Australia this morning. Their absence will be noted, and you must remember that the leaders of both Australia and New Zealand, the co-hosts of this cup, are both in favour of republics. And I think it would have been a great opportunity for them to have been there. And they will be shown up by the fact that the Queen of Spain, Letizia, a former television presenter, I might add, Anne, so you've missed a chance there.
I did, didn't I? Yes, I did.
Michael,
and her daughter.
Michael, can I interject? Somebody has mentioned that is it because the King, recently crowned, hasn't been to Australia yet, and he should be the first royal visitor? Is it royal protocol? Is that a sick note for William, or should he actually just have been on that flight to Sydney?
Martin, this event is very, very rare. This is a great opportunity. They should have been there. Protocol should have been out the window. Of course, the Prince and Princess of Wales are going to Australia and New Zealand, but this is a great opportunity to have been there. And they've been shown up by the Spanish royals because they take every opportunity to support the national Spanish teams, because Spain is riven by separatist movements in the Basque Country and in Catalonia, and they're always there. Indeed, I stood next to the King of Spain when he was still Prince of Asturias at a game in the box in 2010. He was there supporting Atletico Madrid. I was there as a director of Fulham Football Club, very proudly, in the first final of the Europa League. That was 2010. So I've seen at first hand how the Spanish royals do it, and I'm afraid it's a pretty poor show. There was an opportunity there to show solidarity. Otherwise, people will say, well, was it just talk? Was it just lip service? And it leaves them open to the charge of hypocrisy. If you can support something, you go out there. OK, it's a 22-hour flight. OK, it means interrupting the family holiday. But royal service is all about duty. And do you know what? I reckon that Prince George and Princess Charlotte would have loved to have gone too. Their royal relative, 16-year-old Princess Sophia of Spain, she will be there. Well, I think, it's very, very sad, and protocol doesn't matter at moments like this. The important thing is that there is a presence there from the top, because that's what the Prince of Wales and the King do. They represent all of us at a very important moment. And there has never been a more important moment in British sport for women ever. So why are they not there?
Absolutely. Very interesting. You think that too. That seems to be what everybody's thinking, except them. Meanwhile, we're told that they are going to be sort of talking things over in Balmoral. And it is said in some of the papers that the King sees himself as a caretaker king, and so he wants to spell out exactly what he thinks William should be doing. Is that fair, do you think?
The constant concern of any monarchy is survival and then succession. And of course, we've secured the succession with the King succeeding his mother barely a year ago, just coming up to the anniversary on September the 8th. And of course, you've got standing in the wings, brilliant people, Prince William and Princess Catherine, could not have done a better job. In fact, to return to the football parlance, they've been playing a blinder since they became a Prince and Princess of Wales. This is the only big mistake they've made, not going to Australia. So those things are very, very important. Survival, succession, and success. And this meeting up in Balmoral, which would be fairly routine. I mean, they have meetings from time to time. And during the Queen's time, it was called the Way Ahead Group. They would plan out what they were going to do, who was going to go where, and how it was all going to pan out. That's normal. In any big corporation, it happens. At where you're sitting now, you have a meeting every morning and decide the stories you're going to cover in principle. That's what goes on, and that's what they will be doing. But it's no excuse for not going to Australia, to return to that theme. So, of course, it's important that they have these meetings. And when you say about, of course, the King is coming up to 74, is it, in November the 14th? I think that's right. But a short reign is not necessarily an unsuccessful one. His great-great-great-grandfather, Edward VII, reigned for only 9 years, from 1901 to 1910. And he gave his name to the Edwardian era. And in retrospect, it was seen to be a golden era of prosperity and enjoyment. He even had a Derby winner. He had the horse and led him in, having won the Derby. And I'll tell you one thing, the old Tommies, in the trenches in the First World War, 1914 to 18, they would turn to each other and said none of this would have happened if King Teddy had been around, because they knew that he was like the grandfather of Europe, and he had a word with his nephew, Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany, and said, let's stop this terrible nonsense which is destroying both our countries, and indeed did destroy the German monarchy, the Hohenzollern House. So a short reign can be successful, and I'm quite sure the King, who is very much growing into the role, I was never his greatest fan as Prince of Wales, but he hasn't put a foot wrong as monarch. And he obviously wants to see and hand on the monarchy, but I don't think he's going anywhere soon. He seems to be in good health, and he seems to be very happy at long last in his reign.
Yes, he does.
So, Michael, you can conclude as well, I think, with some degree of confidence there'll be no role for the Sussexes in any of this. Is this yet another kind of footnote towards them being written out of the British royal family?
Well, it's a very interesting point. Of course, he will remain the King's son, but it's a diminishing role. Never say never, but quite frankly, Martin, it's going to take an enormous apology, a sincere apology. Look, a prodigal son is always welcome home, but certain things have got to be required. Fences have to be made, apologies have to be made, mea culpa has to be made, because what has been said and what has been done is very, very wounding. And I think most men, Martin, you maybe will agree with me, we can stand being insulted. My goodness, I've been insulted by experts over the years. We don't mind that. But when your wife is being insulted, and that's happened to both Prince William and the King, men don't like that. They don't like their wives being insulted, and they don't like their driving being criticised either. Otherwise, they can put up with almost anything.
And on that note, we'll say thank you very much.